Hey, welcome to another edition of Bradley J and Marco. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And I know what you guys are saying right now. You're saying, is Bradley J going to play his old saxophone from grade school and high school? I know one person who's really excited to find out is my good friend Marco. Hello, Marco.
What's up, Bradley? I've been camping by my laptop all day yesterday and this morning just so I could be the first one to see you perform.
So let me put it this way. I'll perform, but I'm not going to perform right off the bat. Okay.
Okay.
I have some stuff I want to get to before we get to the saxophone performance, I guess.
The short show. You know, I like it. You're making me wait.
Maybe I'm stalling to see if you forget about it, and then I don't have to do it.
Nope. You teased this thing yesterday. I had forgotten that we had talked about it on the previous show, and then I saw your post on Facebook about it yesterday, and it got me. Oh yeah, it got me more pumped to come on and do the podcast with you today.
It was funny is Marco, like, he texted me like 2 days before, like before we were going to put this together, and he was like, "What? Hang on, what was your? Let me look at my phone because like your message, it cracked me up. It made me laugh because that's all. I didn't even respond to it. I just put a laugh, like respond to laugh. He goes,
I couldn't wait to be serenaded. I think
that's
what the word was.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to be serenaded by the sax. So it's gonna come. We'll talk more about that coming up. But I do want to get to a couple of things before we start talking about the things that the subjects that interest us this past week. One was my mom called me, and she wanted me to know that she did not have the saxophone in her house because I used to keep a lot of my stuff at my mom's place, and slowly, because I would be like, I don't have room, Mom. She's like, I don't want this here. Like, get it out of my house. And so, like, slowly, she's been, do you want this, or I'm going to throw it away? And she was like, do you want your saxophone or not? She goes, I'll sell it. I'm like, no, don't sell it. It's kind of a part of me. Like, yes. I want to keep it. And so I brought it home, and I was like, yeah, I just let her go on for a little bit. And then I was like, no, Mom, I'm pretty sure it's in my house. I got it somewhere, so don't worry about that. And she also did say, Marco, that she enjoys listening to you. And she would like to set the record straight on some things that I have said. So if you ever want to have her on the show, she's up for it.
But there's rules, I take it.
Well, no, she just wants her. She's kind of doing it like a politician. She wants if I'm going to have time to talk about her, she wants time to talk about me and set the record straight. I said, Mom, I don't lie. She goes, Bradley, let me put it this way. You, how did she say it? You enhance the story a little too much.
Yes. You. I can't. You foo it up. You pretty it up a little bit, maybe. Is that what she means? You oversell the story.
There you go. That's a better way of putting it. So she listens, and so Mom, thank you for listening. Appreciate it, and I think Marco's looking forward to meeting you and talking to you.
I cannot wait to hear the truth behind all of Bradley's. No, I'm just kidding. It's always nice to hear the other side. If we can make a segment where she comes on, and what was the phrase you were saying? Before she's gonna come and settle it, or no? What was the?
She wants the truth. She wants to. God, what did I say? We'll have to rewind this and check it out. But she wants her set. She wants to make it set the record straight. Is what she wants to do. Set the record straight. Speaking of people who watch, I want to give a shout out to Ted. He has emailed now twice, and nice. I love it, man. He says I love his emails, man, because he labels them just saying April 2021, and his first sentence right out of the box. Ted says, first and foremost, the viewers demand you do the intro to Careless Whisper on your saxophone. I'm just going to tell you now, Ted, that's not happening because I am not that good.
No, you can't enter the. Was George Michael the one that played the saxophone on that song?
No, somebody else did. But I'll tell you some of my favorite saxophone songs before we get into our first subject. Careless Whisper is a good song by George
Yes.
Michael. I do enjoy that. Great saxophone in that song. Another great saxophone song, Just the Way You Were by Billy Joel.
Oh,
You
yes. Okay.
Hall and Oates, I Can't Go for That
They
is another
also,
one.
I was trying to think. There's also a Maneater has saxophone in it as well, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah. And I'll save the one I think is the best for later on. All right, so let's get into it. Marco, you're young, right?
You say I'm young, I'm saying I'm old.
You're 23, right?
It's perspective.
It is, but you're 23, right?
Yes.
Okay, so 23, you probably have a lot of friends. You're probably still in touch with your high school friends, your college friends. You've made new friends as you've gotten out and about and like that. So how many friends would you say you have?
Facebook will tell you I have like 900 or something, I believe, like that. But I like to think I have at least 10 friends in my life.
Really? That you talk to like on a regular basis?
Yeah, I always feel like you got to keep the 5 on your right hand that you can go to for anything, and then you got 5 others that you keep as long you keep along with you as well. I don't know. I'm not. It depends on the day. I'm just kidding.
But would you say you have a lot of friends though, right?
Yeah, sure. We'll go. Yeah.
Okay. Because I'll tell you this, as you get older, because I'm 55, and
Mm.
as you get older, you always say like, "Oh, we're gonna be best friends forever. We're gonna stay in touch. We're gonna call. We're gonna talk, and our families are we're gonna like camp together. We're gonna do all this stuff together when you're in your 20s and you're going to college." Never happens. I mean, it does. There are some people I won't say never, but most of the time, the friends that you make in high school, you don't you may never see them again
True.
because your life goes on. And maybe you see them once a year when you go back for like a high school reunion, but a lot of times you don't see these people again. College friends, you have high school friends, you move on to college. If your high school friends don't move on with you to the same college, you kind of make new friends at college, and they become the people you hang out with like a lot, and they become those friends in that time of life. And then once you get out of college, you meet somebody, you get married, then you may lose your friends and take on your significant other's friends. It may happen. I mean, I've seen it happen like that.
No,
My
you're
mom,
exactly right. I was gonna say I feel like I have the old friends, the friends I have now, and then the friends that we haven't met yet.
yeah. And my mom told a story once. My dad's friends came from out of town one time. They were having like a class reunion type deal. It was like a school or something like that. But anyway, my mom and dad ran a cafe, and they had the party down there. And my mom was talking about it, and I looked at my mom and I was like, "Man, mom, that's so cool that you like dad's friends." Because I know a lot of people don't happen to that. Because she was being nice and talking to him, and all that stuff. And my mom turned to me and she goes, "What makes you think I like your father's friends?" I was like, "Because you're talking to him, you're being nice to him." She goes, "I'm just being nice to them. That doesn't mean I like them." And I was like, "What? That's just mean."
She's just saying, Bradley.
She was just saying. That's what she was doing. But yeah, I mean, I get it. And so I came across this, and I thought of you right when I read it too, because the title, the exact number of good friends, great friends, and acquaintances that we need.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, you know what, Marco needs me to give this to him so that he knows as he continues to get older how many friends he really needs. So I'm going to start off. This comes from a behavioral psychologist in the UK.
Okay.
Okay. And they shared some new research into how many friends you actually need. So I'm going to read one. How many regular friends do you think you need?
I'll say what I said earlier, 10 maybe, 10
Okay.
regular friends, yep.
Okay. You need 150.
They need to define regular friend to me, because that's a lot. That's a big number.
Right. Because, okay, they broke it down, okay? You need 150 regular friends. Those are people you're happy to see at weddings or reunions, but don't keep in touch with all the time. So if you go to a friend's wedding and you see some people that you don't talk to all the time, you're like, "Oh, hey," you kind of converse at the wedding, but then you don't talk again. You probably have 150 of those. You need 150.
I like that because you have those people that maybe you don't keep in contact with, but when you see each other, you know that you're cool with one another, or that you guys have shared experiences from the past that you can catch, where you feel like you got to, people you enjoy catching up with.
I'll say this. You say you have 10 regular friends, right? Can you name them?
Publicly, no. On air, no.
What are they wanted for? What are they wanted by the law?
No, not that. Someone may watch this and be like, "Hey, he didn't say my name."
Okay, you're covering yourself. All right. So
No,
there are people out there that are Marco's friends that he doesn't consider you as a regular friend. You don't even make that list.
You really put me on the spot with this one today. You're coming in hot. I guess this is what I get for making you bust out the saxophone.
No, but I get you though, because if you start naming your friends, then people get hurt. And to me, I'm always like, you should feel lucky that I consider you a friend. Maybe not a top 150 friend, but a friend.
Yeah, I didn't, now I think about it, that the way that they defined regular friends in the study, I probably would change my number, because I have people like that also. But there are, when I think of the people who I text consistently, I think that's a good way to keep track of kind of your closer friends, is the people who you're talking to on a daily basis.
Okay, so let's go. Yeah, so we're raising the bar from friend to how many good friends do you need? So the answer, I'll tell you what they say. You need 50 good friends, and here's how they define that. Those are people you'd invite to a big birthday party, but maybe not a small dinner party.
Okay. Yeah. If you need some bodies at your birthday party so it doesn't seem lame.
You're like, who are the 50 coolest friends I have? Because I'm inviting all of them. Okay, let me roll this at you then. So we've got regular friends, which is people that you don't talk to. Maybe you talk to once or twice a year at a wedding or somewhere that you see them. You have good friends who you would invite to your birthday party. Okay. Couldn't
that be included, like people that where you use each other for each other's business? Like I got my radio friend Bradley. I got my lawyer friend, my doctor friend that I can go to.
I think that's like that's a different category. Like that's a specialty, because like that's a radio friend, that's a doctor friend. I think like you can have those too. Like people you're like, oh, we don't hang out. We've hung out once, and I beat your butt in Madden football. So I mean, that was one time.
Why do you think I didn't go? Yeah, I've been too scared.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Okay, so we got regular friends, good friends, and now here's a very important one: supportive friends. How many do you think you need when it comes to supportive friends?
Probably 15.
It's 12 to 15.
12 to 15. That's a good number.
They define that as these are people you'd really be upset if they died. No, those are people who'd be really upset if you died.
The ones that'd be guaranteed at your funeral.
Yeah, they'd be sad. They would have just crushed them like a family member passing away. I'm thinking, like that'd be the same way. Because I think you would be sad if I died, but I don't think you would be like a supportive friend, and it would crush you if like your sister died or your brother.
I don't know about that. I would be pretty hurt if you passed away. No, I'm kidding.
I would. That's why we're doing this podcast right now, this video podcast, because if I wanted to do it, and I finally got somebody who will do it on a consistent basis with me, as Marco. So he's moving up my friend list. Like Marco is like just right below the 150 threshold. I can't just put you in the 150 threshold. You got to earn it, man. You got to earn it.
We went from work pals to good buddies.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, now here's this. We're talking about the exact number of good friends, great friends, and acquaintances you need. And this is number one, according to a behavioral psychologist in the UK who shared some research into how many friends you actually need. Best friends. How many best friends do you think you need in your life?
5.
Exactly right. You need 5 best friends. That's someone who'd give you a kidney. That's how they describe it.
And you know what? I say number 5 because, think of the people with your right hands who are going to be there for you when you need a kidney, or maybe when you need a hand.
People say there was a time in my life when they were talking about, hey, who's your best friend? And my best friend, I'll say, is Darwin. I had a guy I grew up with, we went to school together, went to high school together, lived together in Manhattan. We roomed together. He wouldn't like calling it live together. We roomed together in Manhattan, and he was like a brother to me, man. But you know what? People are like, "How's Darwin?" I'm like, "I don't know. I haven't talked to him in like years." And people are like, "He can't be your best friend." I'm like, "He is." So there, like, suck it. You can't tell me who my best friend is. Like,
Your
you can't.
sister, one of your sisters has to be your best friends. Come on now, your
No,
sibling, your closest
that
sibling has to be your best friend.
I always put it like you have family, and then you have like your best friends.
Yeah.
And then I think your best friends can become family, but my family won't be my best friend. They're at the top. Like, it just, that family beats best friend.
They're automatically there.
Yeah, they're on top. But there's like Darwin. I have a friend named Anne. I have a friend named Julie. I have a friend, Mary Renee, is the best friend. I like, it's just people that I feel very like. I'm an open person. Like, if you, I'll talk forever. I'll tell you my life story. There's some things I won't tell you, but and there's some things that I hold in that's only for family. Like, those are the only people I want to talk to about what's on my mind. And if you try to, like, oh no, I'm a good listener, I can help you, and I'm like, no, it upsets me because I'm like, listen, I'm not talking to you about this. I'm only talking to my family about it. So just zip it, leave it alone, walk away. I had to do that to a friend of mine once.
Wow.
And she was just like, I can't. I'm just like, you need to walk away.
How did it feel? How did you approach that? Did you approach it kind of nervous, worried, or had to do what you had to do?
Had to do. I mean, and we're still friends. It was my friend Tori. Like, I was having a bad day, and I knew if I talked to somebody besides somebody like my family, that I would say things that I shouldn't say. Yeah. And Tori was trying to be nice about it, and she was trying to be a good friend, and I just had to tell her, I'm like, Tori, you need to leave it alone. You need to let it go. I'm not telling you. And then finally I looked at it and I go, listen, there are 4 people in this world that I would tell this. I go, one's my mom, one's my dad, one's my sister, and the other one is my sister. And you're not any of those people. I go, you need to drop it. And she did drop it, but she learned. And see, that's what I mean. Like, if I was telling somebody that and they got really mad and upset at me, like, they couldn't be a friend of mine, because then they don't understand me. And I'm like, you got to like, I think that's what friendship is. Like, you understand the person, you know who they are. You kind of almost have like I don't know, an intimate, you have kind of like an intimate relationship, not like physical or anything like that, but you just know the person, what they're thinking, how they do that. And, I was like, and Tori, she backed off and she was like, no, I was just trying to make you happy. I go, I get it. She goes, I don't want to see you like mad. And I go, I get that too. I go, but I'm not talking to you about this. So you need to. And she's never done it again.
If you're a work friend of Jim Daniels, you know not to take the headphones out of the 94.5 studio.
That's right. He gets a little upset when he can't find his headphone, man. When he can't find his headphones in the studio. So, but there you go. So now I'm just glad that I could pass along knowledge about how many friends, Marco, you need in your life. So I'm going to keep this piece of paper. I'm going to write it down. And so I'm just going to see what events I get invited to see where my friendship level is with you.
There you go. Well, I don't know what events I have coming up. You know what? You can already be marked in as the DJ at my wedding whenever that happens.
Nice.
If only you accept.
Nice. So I'm not a friend. I'm someone who works for you.
No, not at all. No. That did sound bad right off the bat.
But I'm getting paid, so I'll take it. I'll be that kind of friend. Yeah.
Get the free drinks. You can crash. You can come to the honeymoon suite and like crash if you need to.
I'm gonna squash that right now because I don't want your wife to be mad at me. Just saying.
Just saying. Well, I feel like we had like that conversation right there was one that we definitely would have in the studio. Kind of what made us build this whole podcast in a way. It's just because this is the type of stuff that we discuss in the studios. We like to talk about silly things, but as I told you, I listen to this advice you give me. You're my sensei, and I am the grasshopper. You are the wise man that I would come to listen to before work.
No one watching this that knows me would agree with you. I'm not. They would say he's not that wise. I do have my opinions though. Like, I'm always just like, hey, that's just how I see it. Like, I'm not I go, you can be mad at me if you want to. I go, but that's just how I see. That's how I see it. And I haven't had a worldly experience with anything. It's just I just kind of look at it and I'm like, try to use some common sense behind it and go, okay. And I'm open to hearing what other people have to say. So I
You have
mean,
the life experience.
a little bit. I mean,
Mm.
I'm 55, so I've lived a little bit of life. I haven't lived it like I lived in Boston for a while. I lived most of my life in Kansas. So people are like, "Oh, you don't have a worldly view," and I'm like, "I don't know, man. I think you can get a worldly view on the internet and the encyclopedia when I was growing up."
There you go. That's a good way to look at it. You know what?
So,
You know what I wish? I wish I was there in person now to see you play the saxophone.
so you want to? Do you want to see the saxophone?
I want to see it. I want to hear you play it. I want to know the story about it as well, because I know you had mentioned a little something about it before we started the show when we were in the
Okay,
green room.
so so yesterday I looked for it. I knew where it was. I knew it was in a closet in my apartment, and I grabbed it. And I was like, oh man, do I really want to do this? Like this is they're gonna expect like a song, and I'm not gonna play a song. I'm just gonna try to play it because I haven't played it. Like I tried to play it when it was at my mom's house once, and I
Mhm.
mean I forgot how. And people are like, oh, you just blow, and I'm like, there's a little more to it than that. You
How
ever
long
try to
ago?
just
How long
oh,
ago was the last time since you played it?
oh, it was years ago.
Wow.
I mean, double digit years. Here's a funny thing. So I get it right,
Mhm.
and so I uh, I open it up, and I'm just expecting the saxophone, right? And so I open it up, and this is on there. This is in the case.
Oh, nice. That's like the
Yeah.
first song to learn on any instrument, I feel like. Like on the guitar, that was the first song my sister learned.
Really?
Yeah, Some Smoke on the Water. Because of the chords, I think.
Mm, on the water. Okay, so I got that, and then there was some. This is a baritone. There's different saxophones. There's like an alto, a tenor, a baritone. It had a baritone. It had a chart like that,
Okay.
and it had.
So this is
I'll
a
just write.
baritone sax then.
No, it's an alto.
Oh, okay.
No, it's an alto saxophone. So it had some other musical. It had some music things on it, like I don't even know how to pronounce that. There will be rest. I don't know what that is, and on wings of song. And this is all because what had happened is I'd given it to my nephew. He wanted to play it,
Okay.
and so he played it probably as well as I did. To be honest with you, like not as well as his parents or my parents wanted us to play. We kind of just did. But so this I got this. The story is when you go to grade school, right?
Mhm.
You get like the sixth grade or whatever, fifth grade or whatever it was. I think it was sixth grade. Um, you got to play band,
Yes.
and I love music, man. When I went in the band, and at first I'd seen the trombone, and I was like, that's a cool instrument, man. That's what I want to play. I was like, Mom, I want to play the trombone. Like, get me a trombone. And the teacher came up and she's like, oh, what would you like to play, Brad? And I was like, I don't play the trombone. And she's like, I don't know, because I was just to give you an idea of how little I was as a freshman. Okay, in
Mhm.
high school, I was 4'11" and 100 pounds. Okay, now
Wow.
think of me
Just
as
got to 100 pounds then.
think of me as a sixth grader.
Yeah.
Okay, so my arms weren't real long. The teacher goes, well, you might have trouble playing the trombone because hitting the notes because you have to slide your arm out. And I was kind of like, oh, that sucks. Because when a teacher tells you something, and when you're a sixth grader, you're like, okay, like I can't do it. And my mom's like, are you sure? Like, you're okay with that? And I was like, yes. And
Did you
my
ever get
mom,
to test it out? Like, actually see if you're No?
nope,
Okay.
nope. And my mom, she told me later on in life, she told me, she's like, what did that teacher think? Like your arms weren't going to grow? She
That's
said,
very that's a very that you know what?
yeah,
I mean, what did your teacher respond to that?
nothing, because my mom didn't tell her. She just thought it, and then she told me
Oh,
later years down. So we came along like, oh, what do you want to play? So I was like, oh, I'll play the saxophone. My arms are long enough to play the saxophone.
yep.
So in grade school and all through high school, played the saxophone. Um, they always said you got to practice. I never practiced. I drug it
Mhm.
home and I took it back to school like every day, just to let them think I was practicing,
You
but I
seem
wasn't.
so thrilled to be playing.
Yeah, yeah. So I didn't practice a lot, and of course my mom would always be like, "Why? I don't even know why I bought that for you. Like you
Oh,
don't practice, right?"
yes. I've heard that speech before about my trumpet.
Every kid has heard that speech. Like I don't even know why you got that for. You don't play it. You don't use it. So I was like, ugh, ugh. But I went through and I sat by Laura Hurdle,
Mm,
who was very good on the saxophone. She was first chair,
okay.
and I think she was either a senior or a junior when I was a freshman. And yeah, it was so cool. Like I'd listen to her play, and I'm like, wow, she's really good. Like I can be her someday. Like, you got to practice. I'm like, nope, not
Did
gonna
she
be
ever
her
listen to
someday.
you play?
Oh, yeah. I was good. I was okay. Like I knew the notes, so I could
Hmm.
play. But I wasn't anything special. And so then the saxophone, I had it for a while. I was moving around, left it with my mom. Mom calls me one day and she says, "Hey, your nephew Clay would like to know if he can use your saxophone to play in school." And I was like, well, at first I was kind of like, well, it's kind of my saxophone. So I mean, I don't really know. I don't really know if I want somebody else playing my saxophone.
He
And
can
my
get
mom's
his
like,
own saxophone.
yeah. I was like, why can't they buy one? And it's like it's expensive, and you're not using it. And I was like, but it's mine, Mom. And if I don't want him to use it, I'm not going to let him. And she's like, you
His
would
arms might be too long for it. That's what you should have said.
exactly. She goes, you would deny your nephew a chance to play the saxophone? I was like,
Oh,
no, he can. I was like, no, he can use it. I go, he can't have it. I go, but he can use it. And mom's like, okay. So my nephew Clay had it for a while, and then I posted this. I posted opening the case on social media, and my cousin Shane, who is younger than me, he thought, and maybe he did, he
mhm.
thought that he had it for a while and
So
played it.
could your nephew have maybe loaned it to Shane while he had it?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask my mom to get clarification if Shane, but it might have. It might have traveled to Colorado and Shane played it for a while, or Gavin. I know my cousin Trish, their sister, never did. She played the violin,
Mm.
but it
Ooh.
could have been. And then it made its way back to my mom, and then it
Mhm.
made it back to me. And so, like I said, we were talking last week about instruments. You play the trumpet, I play the sax. I thought, you know what, I'll try to play it on this video podcast. And so, Marco, I will
Oh,
show
yes.
you. I will show you. This is the box it comes in. The box, the case that comes in. There, I think this was tape before, and it actually had my name on it. I don't
Oh,
know if it
okay.
does,
Very nice.
but so people knew. So I know everybody knows what a saxophone looks like, but I'll show you. This is my saxophone. So here we go. I'm gonna move the microphone out of the way. There you go. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah. Look at it, all in its glory too, shining.
So I think there have been some parts that have been replaced or put on it, and so I'll show you
How many pieces is it?
three, actually four. And I see when I had it, it never had this, and I think this is to keep the
Oh,
dust out of it.
yeah,
I
it's
don't
like to
know.
clean it.
Yeah, whatever.
It's a magic trick.
Yeah, hey, what can you pull out of your saxophone? I can pull out this. Um, so, and then you unloosen this.
Okay.
It's like a tutorial on how to put a saxophone. Put that in,
Oh, yeah.
uh, tighten it up. I don't think I really need to tighten it up anyway. And then you take the. Here, I'm gonna set this down for a minute. But yeah, through school and stuff, played. We got to just to tell you a backstory too. Got to play at K State, and they had band day, and
Okay.
you got to go on the field and play with the K State marching band. So I never played when I was on the field at K State. I was on the field, but I never played my
But
instrument. I just marched.
oh no, what happened?
Nothing.
Oh,
Nobody knew that because there were schools, like all kinds of schools that played. I don't even know if I know how to like this. I didn't. I had like a different. This is like new. So God. All right, let me see. Do-do-do-do. Well, this brings back memories of just putting it together and then not playing it at all.
And then like having to clean it and make sure. So all the buttons, nothing stuck. Then all the buttons are still pushing
Everything
up and
works, man. Everything works.
Wow.
Everything works on it. So there you
So
go.
many years later, that's crazy too.
Yeah, it's like it's a and then you see, and then there's the reed. They call that a
Yes.
reed. It's a woodwind instrument. Isn't that weird? That's what I always hated, like licking the reed. You know, it just looks weird when you do it.
Tell me about it. I know. I for me with the trumpet, it was just like the little like kind of funnel thing that you put on you. Never had to like mess with reeds or anything.
Yeah.
Do you remember the big kind of number one rule of what to not to do with your instruments?
Don't hit anyone with it.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get.
What? No. What's the number one rule? I don't know this.
You can't keep it in the cold. Do not like have it near anywhere cold. I remember in the wintertime, my mom would make me keep my trumpet by the heater, so like it wouldn't freeze up or anything.
I did not know that.
Can't keep it in the cold. Oh yeah.
I keep it in the closet. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to show you this too. This is other stuff that I never had. This is Yamaha premium cork grease. I guess it's to put on the cork to get your instrument on.
Cork, that's what it's called. Yeah.
Another whatever. More reeds. I like this, man. I didn't buy this stuff either, which is kind of cool.
Your family taking care. Look, they took care of that saxophone.
They did. All right. So I haven't played this since, and I'm not gonna play a song. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna. I might play some notes or something, but I'm not playing a song. So if anybody's expecting like Ted, if you're expecting the Careless Whisper intro, that's not happening.
Play some Baker Street.
Yeah, I wish. I have a guitar that I bought at a Sarah Evans concert that I'm gonna slowly. I like how people always like, oh, you said you were gonna learn how to play it. I go, yeah, but I didn't tell you how slow I was going to learn how to play it. And I didn't say I was gonna play it like overnight. It could take before I die, maybe. All right, so you ready?
Yes. Oh, I'm more than ready. Are you kidding me?
When are you going to bring your trumpet into play?
I sold that thing. My mom got rid of that thing a long time ago.
Somebody did post on social media when they put on there and they're like, are you selling that saxophone? I was like, I want to put a post back and just be like, I don't want to sell it, but I just want to, for curiosity reason, go, how much would you give me for it?
Give me an offer I can't refuse.
Yeah, and don't put a horse head in my bed. All right, here we go. People are waiting. I hope this isn't. Okay, you ready?
Oh yeah.
That's not bad.
Sounds pretty good.
I think there's a pad that's missing down here though. Well, there's not a pad missing, but it doesn't make a different sound. But yeah, I used to know the notes too, like at the top and then at the bottom, and then to go flat, there's something on the back with it. But
how many notes are there?
There's a lot. There's like flats and sharps and A, G, D. Every good boy does fine. Every good boy does fine is one of them.
Okay.
So and then you could go down from there. But yeah. I do want to, but you know what's so weird? It's like trying to learn how to play the saxophone is like where do you do it at? Like I can't do it in my apartment.
Oh yeah, 'cause neighbors. You would have to private lessons at the tutor's house. How about that?
I don't want to pay. I'd rather learn it on myself. I'm 55. I should be able to do it by myself.
YouTube.
That's true too. But see, I need a place to. I can come here on Saturdays because nobody's here at the station. Well, I mean there are people here, but I could do that. But there you go. That
sounds really good too. That does not sound like a saxophone that has been played in a while. It must have been in some. Where'd you say you were storing it? You have been keeping it good in a good place.
Just in my apartment when I move. Just keep it places. I keep it in the case too. So I mean, it's so funny because this, like, I can pick up the saxophone. I can just remember things from high school, from grade school. And it just brings back great memories. So you can email the show and tell us. Actually, I would love to get a video from someone playing their high school instrument.
That would be that. We would get some interesting videos from that one.
I would think you can. There's our email address, bradleyj@94country.com. I played my saxophone, not very well, but I played it. Still,
we just want to hear the sound. We just want to hear the sound of it.
Yeah. Can you play your old musical instrument that you played in grade school or high school, or you still play today? And if you're really good, send a little video, man, or some audio to bradleyj@94country.com. What was do you remember playing your trumpet?
I do. I remember there was a time where, just like you at the K-State performance, we had a local spring concert at a high school up the street from me, and it'd be one day. All the grade schools whose band kids were interested got to go for a day and practice, and then they would do a spring concert at night. But my trumpet had broke during the rehearsal portion, so I kind of went out there and fake played, which was fine. There was more kids. There was enough kids there to where if one kid wasn't playing but looked like they were playing, we would be just fine. I have to ask though, what's the best performance you have given on your saxophone?
Oh, never. I never given a good performance on my saxophone.
What? Never like in band? You don't remember, there was never a time in band class where you maybe not like necessarily with the solo, but you knew you were going off at one point? No.
No. I didn't practice, and what's funny is I should be ashamed, a little bit of not practicing and taking it, but I was a kid, man. I didn't like practice. I still don't like practicing to this day. I don't. I'd rather just get out and do it. But I know when you get older, there are things that you need to practice at, because if you're not, it could have dire consequences. So I didn't. So no, there was no performance that I was great at playing the saxophone.
I refuse to believe that. There was a time where Bradley J was doing some Kenny G Christmas at the family Christmas party, and everyone was going nuts.
I'll say this: probably the greatest moment on the saxophone for me was when I learned a song like "Row, Row, Row Your Boat" is one that I can remember doing, and I played it for my mom and dad. Maybe dad might not have been home, but when I played it for someone when I was first learning to play it, that was probably the greatest moment. And because you learn something, you're like, oh wow, row, row, and then with the notes. So.
Row, row, row your boat is like a nursery rhyme when sung, but when played on the saxophone, it is a gold hit.
Yeah, it's
the saxophone makes everything better.
Any other saxophone info you need from me? Shoot away. I'm open.
How did it feel to pick it up for the first time in a long time? Did it feel like you were back at home? Did it feel like how a PS controller how a PlayStation controller would feel? Like imagine not playing Madden football for 3 years, 4 years, however long, and then just like being able to play it for the first time again. Did it feel like that?
It felt cool, man. It felt cool to get it back out and play, because I like I said, it's been with me for a few years now, and you picked it up maybe once or twice, pulled it out and been like, oh, but then I can't play anything. So it's just kind of like, oh, pick it up, like, oh, toot it, and then put it back in. So it was cool, man. It was cool pulling it back out.
There we go. No, I feel like I've taken enough time with the saxophone thing. I really enjoyed that. That was fun. I hope it was fun for you as much fun as it was for me.
It was. Are you ready? You want to know my favorite saxophone song? Okay. And this is, I'll tell you, there's two different ones. One is Foreigner, and the song Urgent, because it's like, the guy just goes off. And then there's a girl named Candy Duffler, and it's just mostly all saxophone instrumental.
Okay.
And she's really good. Then I have a few. I probably have like 6 or 7 just straight up saxophone of Kenny G. He plays the sax, and I just like the sound of the saxophone, man. I just like the sound of it. So there you go. That's me and the saxophone, and all you needed to know.
You and the sax, just saying.
Just saying, man. All right. Anything else that interests you this past week, Ben?
No, I think that kind of that was my interest this weekend. You have no idea that that right there has made last week and this week for me.
Okay, so I'll tell you this. I will, for you, Marco, and for people who want to, I will learn a little song like Row, Row, Row Your Boat on my saxophone. Not in a week, okay? It's going to take some time. But eventually, I will come back on this video podcast and I will play you a song on the saxophone.
You promise? You promise? Oh, yes.
I do. This way you can hold me accountable.
Okay, yes. And you know what? I will do just that. Or else if you don't play the sax for me, you've gone from a great friend to a regular friend.
I'm still in the top 150, so I'll take it. Okay, we're gonna wrap up this podcast. Marco, I love to do these kind of things. I love to find weird, strange questions to ask you to end the show on. So, it's a little game called "Which Celebrity Would You Rather Have a Drink With?" And I have 3 of them to ask you. And I want to start off with this. This might be tough. Who would you rather have a drink with, and why? The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, or Keanu Reeves?
Wow. That's a tough one. You did good. You told me that is I can't say both either.
No, you can't. That's a cop out. That's cheating.
You know what? Because when you said The Rock first, I was like, all right, that's someone that you can really talk to, and I'm sure he has a lot of stories to share. And then you come in and bring in someone that you could say the same about. Just really cool and interesting stories. I will go ahead and say Keanu.
Okay, that surprises me. I thought you were leaning toward The Rock and was going to go that way. Why Keanu Reeves?
Because I feel like I wouldn't have to ask him a question. I feel like he would just come. You know, if I'm going to set the scene for you, we're at a bar and I'm in a booth and he comes in. He's like, I'm meeting this guy Marco, and then the guy's like, all right over here, and he's coming in already excited about something, ready to share with me. The Rock, I feel like I had to prepare like 50 questions. Plus, he has that show on NBC where he's really where he's really talking about his life. And so he's sharing his stories through there. So I'm going to go ahead and say Keanu because I feel like that's a guy that keeps his life kind of private, more private.
All right. The next one are 2 ladies. Would you rather have a beer or a drink with Gal Gadot or Brie Larson? One plays Miss Marvel. No, yeah.
Yes,
and one
Captain
plays
Marvel,
Captain Marvel, and one plays Wonder Woman.
Probably Brie Larson because of kind of ask her about the movies that she's been in. You know, she's been in some pretty good movies with like Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So yeah, I'd probably say Brie Larson.
Can I tell you, I would have Keanu Reeves. I would go with him. I just think he'd be cool to talk to. I mean, just a cool guy. The Rock's cool, but I just think Keanu Reeves, I mean, it'd be cool. Gal Gadot would be the person that I would talk to because I probably wouldn't get a question out because I would just be staring at her the whole time and she'd be like, "You have a question?" I'd be like, "I do, but I have no idea what it is."
It's going to come to me at some point.
You just talk and I'll listen.
There you go.
Okay, and the last one, we'll wrap this show up on this one. And by the way, if you'd love to answer these questions as well, who would you rather have a drink with, The Rock or Keanu Reeves? And you can email us, bradleyj@94country.com. Or who would you rather have a drink with between these 2, Gal Gadot or Brie Larson? So let's wrap it up with this. We'd love to hear from you again, bradleyj@94country.com. Which celebrity would you rather have a drink with? Ryan Reynolds or Neil Patrick Harris?
Ryan Reynolds.
You don't like? What's wrong with NPH?
Nothing's wrong with NPH. NPH isn't Deadpool.
Good point. Good point. I would choose Neil Patrick Harris. I'm a big fan of How I Met Your Mother, and just to hear him talk about that would be fabulous. And I'm afraid Ryan Reynolds would make fun of me the whole time.
him and like Seth MacFarlane are two people that I've thought about, like, which celebrity would you want to have dinner with? And I would just love to pick those two guys' brains. I feel like Ryan Reynolds is, you could talk. I feel like you could talk about anything with him. He's just
Right.
I feel like he's just as friendly as he is in his movies, with the sarcastic humor, of course.
Yeah, I'm just afraid, like, I would say something and he would just be like, and I would just be crushed. I'd be like, oh, you're right. This is over.
If you could be in a TV series, would you be in How I Met Your Mother then?
Oh man, I just do. I only get one. Like, yes. That's the only. Like, I only get one TV show to be in. Do I get to choose? Can I ask you some questions about the question, or do I just got to give you an answer?
Fire away.
Okay. What am I, a main character, or am I just like in the show? I'm just in the show.
You're a side. You're like a side character that's there on. You're there for production, but then you're casted in various episodes. You are a side character, but you're not like just some random side character. You have a meaning to a show. Like when Bradley J pops on the screen, the sick, think of a sitcom crowd, they'd clap or something.
Okay. Wow, man, that's a great question. Like, How I Met Your Mother would be fun to be on that show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking of like all the shows, because I'm thinking like that. It'd be fun to be in Seinfeld, but they have their characters, so the side character always kind of gets like. I mean, I don't think it would be Seinfeld, but How I Met Your Mother would be cool.
I just thought about that when you said that, because it is a very good show.
Yeah, it's a great show. I love it. Man,
there's a lot of Neil Patrick Harris.
yeah, exactly. And Josh Radnor and Marshall. I can't think of his real name.
Jason, I think Jason Segel. Not Jason Segel.
It's like that, something like that. We don't even. It's my favorite show, and I don't even know. But yeah, it'd be fun, man. That'd be fun. Buffy the Vampire Slayer would be another one. I love that show, so that'd be fun to be a part of. 24 with Jack Bauer.
Okay.
Like saving Jack Bauer's life. Like that would be like every once in a while you would show up, Jack Bauer would be in trouble, and I would be the character that helps him get out of trouble. Like every time I came on, they'd be like, "Oh, Jack Bauer's going to be in trouble in this episode. Bradley J is going to save him." That's what I would choose. I would save Kiefer Sutherland in 24 if I could be on a TV show. Not every time, because you got to kind of spice it up, like Bradley J just showed up. Like Jack Bauer's going to be in trouble, and then it's nothing. It's just like we have a beer and I'm feeding him information to help him out.
It's like that when that one character shows up in the show, it's like, all right, got to sit back for this one. This one's going to be a good episode.
That would be me in 24. That's what I want. Now I got to ask you, what show do you want to be in?
See, I have no idea, to be honest with you. Maybe like something where it's Fresh Prince, just kick it in the mansion. I don't show up I'm not one family member that doesn't get seen a lot, but I'm there in the mansion just enjoying the time.
So you'd be like the French what was the rap group that he was in? Him and DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Oh yeah,
You'd be along with DJ. Yeah, you'd be along with Jeff, man.
Or I'd be the third member that just is hidden in the background, just enjoying the perks,
just chilling, just checking out the ladies,
off the other people.
Yeah, you're just checking the ladies as they walk by. That'd be your role. You'd be like this.
That's what I'm.
That would be hilarious. All right, man. Again, thanks for showing up. I hope I didn't disappoint anybody with my saxophone player. I mean, if you're expecting more, I mean, it's been years since I pulled that thing out, man. But I'm going to try to learn a song from Marco and, something, and bring it in, play it, see how it goes. So there you go. Maybe we can come up with something for Marco to do sometime. Do you juggle? Do you do tricks? What's your talent?
I do podcasts.
There you go. Nice answer. Marco, have a great week, and we will talk again soon.
See you later, Bradley.